Welcome back to the channel. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that like button, as we are going to talk about this guy's former team that you just saw on the screen, Kyle Turris, and what he brings to the Edmonton Oilers. There's been many things like, oh, Kyle Turris is washed up, Kyle Turris this, Kyle Turris that. Let's set the point straight. He played in Nashville. It's hard to play in Nashville. Look at the players they have, and look who he was playing with. His days in Ottawa, he was over a point and a half per game, or a half a point per game player. He was more 6.2 area, which is good. We can't expect every player in the NHL to be over .9 even. It's really hard. The greater players do that. Guys like Turris, .6 to .7. That's usually the area they're in. Now, the Oilers did sign him to, as many of us know, most likely be the third line center. Is he better than Sheehan? I think, personally, overall, yes. There's probably the penalty kill I would say Sheehan beat him in, if we do see Kyle Turris on the penalty kill. That's probably the only aspect that actually Sheehan was better. When it comes to goal scoring, getting assists, putting the puck in the back of the net anyway, how getting a point off of it, and the power play and being a right-handed shot really helps. Now, let's take a look into Kyle Turris' career. We all know he played for Coach Dave Tippett right out of junior. And, first season he had 3 games played, 1 point. Second season, 20 points in 63 games. Then he went down the AHL, came back up and had 25 and 65. Then he had 0 and 6 and was traded to the Ottawa Senators in 2011-12. 29 points in 49 games. If he plays 49 games and gets us 29 points, I'm not going to complain. That's 29 more goals that, probably the Oilers wouldn't have had with Sheehan in the lineup. No offense to Sheehan. Sheehan was a good penalty killer, but other than that third line last year just couldn't score. Like, Benson kind of revived that third line. Archibald, when he was on the penalty kill and stuff. But anyway, let's get back to this. Then he went over to where Jesse Puljujärvi is playing right now in 2012-13 in Capret. He went over there 19 points in 21 games. That's pretty reasonable. Then he came back to the Senators in 12-13 as well. 29 points in 48 games, 58 and 82, 64 and 82. He had 30 and 57, 55 and 78. So his time in Ottawa, I'm not going to complain. If a guy could put up between 30 and 65 points in a season, I'm not going to complain about that for the Edmonton Oilers, because we got guys like McDavid and Draisaitl. Now in Nashville, he got traded there in the 17-18 season, so if you put everything together, he had 51 points in 76 games because of the trade. That's tremendous. Then he kind of fell off the snide a bit. 55 games, 23 points, that's not bad. That's under a half a point per game, but it was an injury-prone season for him. Last season, 31 points in 62 games, half a point guy. So, say we put him in 77 games. That's if he gets injured, day off, rest. Let's go 78 games. I expect 39 points from him. That's a half a point per game. That is not too high of an expectation like some of you said that I had for Puljujärvi. Puljujärvi needs to come and prove himself. Turris has already proved he could score in this league. He just needs to get back to that Kyle Turris of 2012-13 to 2018. If we get that Kyle Turris, quote me on this, Edmonton will be a top 2 team in the West this year. A lot of people were like, why did you spend money on Turris when you could have spent the money on Holtby or Markstrom? Well, think about it. Holtby, yeah, okay, his contract was really low. 2 years at, I think it was 4.2. But he doesn't give us what Kyle Turris does. Everyone's missing the point about signing Turris and not signing a big name goalie. Is our goalie tandem made us the fourth best team in the West when the season paused last year. No one's remembering that. So when you say, oh, they wasted their money on Turris, they didn't really waste their money on anyone. Turris is a huge pickup, and my expectations, looking at his stats, he was a 20 plus goal scorer 3 of his seasons. So let's go, I'm going to go 13 goals. That's reasonable, 13 goals, and, let's go 25 assists. That's not bad considering I believe he will be on the power play number 2. He will have decent line mates that are trying to prove themselves too. And, the best way to prove yourself, if you're Kyle Turris, sorry, I had a hiccup there. Mentor and be the role model for the younger guys. Why do you, we talked about Russell. Yeah, some had to do with the expansion, but he is a role model to that young demon. I think Kyle Turris, he's been in the league long enough. He's been since '08. So that makes him 31 years old. He's been in the league for a while. He knows the ropes. He's seen the transition from the big physical bodies back in '08 to the quick, speedy guys like McDavid nowadays. He can be that mentor on that third line. He can mentor McDavid. He can mentor Draisaitl. Not playing-wise, but mental-wise. He is a guy that can come in and just make the team happy, I guess. A good sense in the room. That, we've been told previous years, besides after Hall, that, the locker room's not fun to be in. Now the guys love it. The guys love this team, and can you blame them? So my expectations is 13 goals, 25 assists. This was a huge signing by the Oilers 2 weeks ago, and just gotta back off about the whole we need a number 1 goalie, you shouldn't have signed Turris. Yes, okay, our goalies aren't the best 1A, 1B tandem, but they got us to the playoffs last year, or the play-in round. We would have been in the playoffs anyway. There was I think a 14% chance we wouldn't, considering who we were playing and stuff at the end of the season. Let me know your expectations for Kyle Turris. I believe he'll help us on faceoffs. There'll be more right side faceoffs now because of it. And that is all. Have a good one, stay safe, and make sure you hit that sub button.